5 impactful U.S. presidents, including Donald Trump. George Washington 1789–1797. As the nation's first president, Washington laid down foundational precedents that continue to shape the presidency today. He is remembered for his steadfast neutrality, avoiding entanglement in European conflicts, and for his leadership in the Revolutionary War, which unified the colonies under a common purpose. His decision to step down after 2 terms underscored a commitment to democratic principles and influenced future limits on presidential power. Washington's approach established trust in the new government and set the stage for peaceful transfers of power. Washington was also instrumental in establishing the U.S. Capitol, Washington, D.C., which was named in his honor. His leadership helped to cement the ideals of republicanism, ensuring the longevity of the United States as a democratic nation. Additionally, his actions during the Whiskey Rebellion demonstrated the strength of the new federal government in maintaining order. Abraham Lincoln 1861–1865. Lincoln's presidency was marked by the Civil War and his determination to preserve the Union at all costs. Known as the Great Emancipator, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which began the process of freeing enslaved people and altering the nation's moral and legal landscape. Lincoln's Gettysburg Address is celebrated for redefining the American vision of democracy and equality. His leadership style, marked by resilience and compassion, solidified his status as a unifying figure. Even after his assassination, his influence continued to shape the country's direction during Reconstruction and beyond. Lincoln was also known for his ability to communicate effectively with both political leaders and the public, using his speeches to rally the nation in times of crisis. His efforts to reconcile the nation post-Civil War laid the groundwork for the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. Furthermore, Lincoln's leadership inspired generations of leaders to prioritize unity and Franklin D. Roosevelt 1933–1945, leading the U.S. through the Great Depression and most of World War II. FDR reshaped the government's role in American life with his New Deal programs, which aimed to provide relief, recovery, and reform. His policies, such as Social Security and labor rights, were aimed at helping the economically disadvantaged and became pillars of American welfare. Additionally, his leadership during World War II positioned the U.S. as a global superpower. Serving for terms, he greatly expanded the influence and responsibilities of the presidency, creating a legacy that impacted subsequent domestic and foreign policies. Roosevelt was a charismatic leader who inspired confidence in a time of unprecedented crisis, encouraging Americans to remain hopeful through his fireside chats. His efforts in creating international organizations like the United Nations helped shape post-war global. His leadership during the war helped pave the way for the United States' emergence as a Ronald Reagan 1981–1989. Reagan's presidency marked a shift toward conservative values and economic policies that emphasized free market principles, tax cuts, and deregulation. Known as the Great Communicator, he connected with Americans through optimism and a strong sense of patriotism. His foreign policy, especially his stance against the Soviet Union and his famous call to tear down this wall, is credited with contributing to the end of the Cold War. Reagan's approach to government, known as Reaganomics, aimed to reduce government intervention, and his policies remain influential in shaping conservative economic and political thought. His administration also oversaw a major shift in the American military, with significant increases in defense spending. Reagan was instrumental in the creation of the Strategic Defense Initiative, which aimed to defend the U.S. from nuclear threats. Additionally, his commitment to promoting a strong, market-driven economy helped create a lasting framework for conservative policies. Donald Trump 2017–2021, known for his unorthodox style and direct approach, Trump's America First agenda focused on reshaping U.S. domestic and foreign policy. Domestically, he implemented tax cuts, emphasized deregulation, and aimed to revitalize the American manufacturing sector. Internationally, he reoriented U.S. trade policies, withdrew from several multinational agreements, and engaged in high-stakes negotiations, particularly with North Korea. His administration also saw the appointment of 3 Supreme Court justices, shifting the judicial landscape. Trump's presidency is recognized for its polarizing impact on American politics and its reshaping of the Republican Party's identity and policies. His handling of the economy led to significant growth in the stock market and employment during the early years of his presidency. Trump's foreign policy was marked by a focus on strengthening the US-Israel relationship and challenging China on trade practices. Additionally, his administration played a key role in the development and distribution of COVID-19 vaccines through Operation Warp Speed.